What is going on, all you fellow nerds out there? I am Brian for Apocaflix Movies, and we are here to talk a Little Nerd Nation issue 27. I am joined by my usual panel of Keith Barnes down here and Gio Ramos here. Oh, I got the right direction. I almost did that way, and it would have been wrong. But yeah, we are here to talk a little nerd action type stuff today. Not a whole lot going on. Plus, we are gearing up for a little series starting next week that we got planned for you. I'm not going to give it away because we want to keep it a little bit of a surprise, keep you guessing. But yeah, how you guys doing?
I'm good.
Pretty good. You know,
It's hot here.
Not much change.
Yeah, so we're in Northern California, and the heat is getting to the hundreds. It's
here already.
We're already hitting like 95, 96.
Yeah.
And not cool. So air conditioning and fans are a must. You could probably see mine going up here. But it's a must. So if you hear a fan, sorry. But it's hot.
It's hot.
But yeah, so we have two topics we're going to go over today. Marvel is supposedly planning the next phase, if you will, of Disney Plus shows. So there's been a couple rumors going around about 3 shows in particular that might be getting a Disney Plus treatment. And then our main topic is going to be the Josh Trank interview, where he basically spilled all the beans on his Fantastic Four flop. I was going to say movie, but I'm not going to even call it that. It was pretty much a bust. But yeah, so we are going to go straight into it. And our first topic is going to be, like I said, the rumored Marvel projects. We don't usually hit rumors. We actually might do something with rumors moving forward. But for now, what we are hearing is that Marvel is apparently looking to add more Disney Plus shows. Obviously, we don't have a confirmation on it, and nothing's clearly going to be filming anytime soon. So it's up in the air. But the 3 shows that we have heard about is, number 1, Ghost Rider. We know Ghost Rider from those. I thought they were horrible movies. Some people like them, so I'm not going to completely bash them. Yeah. But or more recently, he appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Little different version. Well, big different version. He drives a whole different type of vehicle. So Ghost Rider, series or movie. There wasn't really any suspicion around which one. The second one was a Ironheart series for Disney Plus. Now, if you are unfamiliar with that, that is the story of Riri Williams. I'll give you a brief overview. For those of you that don't know, Riri Williams is a 15-year-old engineering student and the daughter of the late Riri Williams Sr. Following her father's death, Riri lives with her mother, Ronnie, and her paternal aunt, Sharon, in Chicago. A certified super genius, she attends MIT on scholarship, working alone, designing a suit similar to that of Iron Man. So, so basically she is a super genius, super smart female, African-American female that is at MIT, makes her own Iron Man suit, almost a Superman suit. That would have been bad. And then the very last one is another one we don't really know too much about as far as where they're going to go with it, but that is the Secret Warriors. Not a hugely popular comic book team or series. There's been 3 different versions of them, 2 in the comics, 1 as an animated TV show. The one character that pretty much has been in every single version is Kamala Khan, which is Miss Marvel, which we know is getting a TV show. Other people that appear along her tend to be Quake, who we know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Devil Dinosaur, and what is her partner's name? Oh crap! I completely forgot her name. Devil Dinosaur and oh my gosh, I'll think of it in a second. But there's other ones that we know from there.
At some point, maybe even maybe Miles Morales at one point. I'm not.
I don't know if Miles Morales.
Yeah,
Lunella Lafayette. That is her name. Sorry.
Oh.
So it's her and her dinosaur. And then more recently, we have seen them with a animated show called Marvel Rising Secret Warriors, and that features a lot of younger characters. Like I said, Lockjaw, Quake, Miss Marvel, Patriot, America Chavez, so that type of stuff. And they're basically in one version. They work for Nick Fury, but they're kind of like a Young Avengers almost, except not as big. So, which we've been hearing Young Avengers stuff for a while. So what we're going to do is we are going to buy one, sell the rest. Meaning that we are going to pick one that we, out of those three, would most like to see. The rest are all gone. Okay. Do you want me to go first, or someone else want to go first? I'll go first.
You can go.
Okay. So for me, I really want to see the Ironheart series. My issue is I don't want it for another at least 5 years minimum.
Why?
I want Tony Stark to be dead for a while. He needs the Iron Man stuff, that suit, that capability needs to be gone for a while. I think doing it this soon, even if it's 2000. Well, it sounds like the Marvel, the Disney Plus stuff is probably going to be 2022 earliest. I would probably say at earliest, I want her around probably 2024. So I would like Iron Man to have his, I don't know what we're going to call it, his passing mourning period or whatever, where you almost kind of not forget about him, but he's not as like Iron Man, like,
Yeah.
And then here comes this new character that almost kind of fills that gap that Iron Man left behind. So I'm out of those
right now, so
yeah, exactly. That's kind of what Spider-Man's doing right now. I feel like if they brought her in right now, she would kind of get lost in Iron Man's shadow. And a lot of people are going to go, oh, she's knockoffy Iron Man. I want her to shine. I want her to have her moment, because I think she would be an amazing character for people to meet and fall in love with. Because, I mean, you have a story of a young African-American girl who's a super genius, kind of like, not sure he's not African-American, but a genius level, goes to college, and we lost Geo.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go. But I don't know. I think it could work out really well, but like I said, I don't want it now. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand why you would want, some time in between, but they also did just pass on Captain America's shield onto the next, and that new Captain America is coming hopefully next year. But I can kind of see also why you would want some time. I mean, I kind of agree with you too, because Tony Stark was the leading man of the Avengers. He was the reason that the MCU kicked off, and you don't want to shortchange the next iteration of the Iron Man or Ironheart. But at the same time, if it came about Ironheart in 2 years. I think it's possible it could work given how promising the Captain America, handoff could is looking. So it could go either way, but I kind of lean more towards, your stance with, let's take some time, give some other characters their shine. Let's visit Atlantis and Namor, and
Exactly. We don't need to replace both of those two characters right away.
Sure.
And with Captain America, I mean, it kind of, the first thing that pops into my mind is when they said, like, the world always needs a Captain America. Okay, sure. Like, that makes sense. The world doesn't always need an Iron Man. So, like, I don't know. Yeah. I would love for her to maybe, like, have been inspired by Iron Man or something like that. And so she wants to create the suit, but not, I don't want another story where we're tying back to Iron Man, though. That I just, like, as something as simple as she saw, she saw how he sacrificed himself to save the world, and that inspired her to change the world or something like that. And she goes from there. But I agree with you. I don't want both those spots. Like, oh, well, we don't have Captain America and Iron Man anymore. Okay, let's find the next closest thing. So, I mean, I completely agree with you. What are your thoughts, Keith?
Yeah, so that also will be mine as well. Would be Ironheart.
Okay. So then go into yours.
So yeah, and completely agree with everything you said. Just like I said, they're doing all this with Spider-Man, and on top of that, we have essentially already another Iron Man. We still have War Machine out there, so if anyone wants to see, the which is one of Tony's suits. So if you want to see that in action, they can always do something with him. But yeah, I agree. Let's Geo, that's a great man. Atlantis or
there's so much more to explore.
Whatever else, yeah, man. I know they're talking about going more cosmic for phase 3 or 4 anyway. So we'll see. Whatever that means. But yeah, as far as Earth-based stuff, yeah, certainly love to see more of their Earth-based guys. One of the ones that we've seen in other series, like we'd like to see, maybe get Daredevil worked in. To the film side, the Punisher, whoever else, but obviously we're talking Disney Plus here. I know I got a lot. The ones that they were shooting are kind of they're on hold, so it might not be for a while anyway if we do see Ironheart. But she essentially
at the rate we're going to catch up to the 2023 timeline. In the Marvel movies.
Yeah, right.
God.
Yeah, it'll be real time by the time the next
seriously
we see the next thing. But especially with Black Widow being set in the past as well. So.
Yeah.
But certainly Riri, she essentially is Shuri, that's a lot of people thought when we saw that character appear in Black Panther. We were just like, well, that's like we were like, well, people thought she's gonna be Ironheart, and what she essentially, maybe she could be. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it'll be Shuri. I'm sure it would be Riri Williams. I'm sure that's the one we would like to see. Maybe she could be the character. She could be. Remember when Tony in Civil War gave out those? He gave out that at the beginning of Civil War where all your projects are gonna be funded.
Oh, you're gonna be funded.
Maybe she could be one of those. She could be one of those people.
So
she makes an Iron Man suit.
Ignore our
it's crazy
difficulty.
Okay.
Our background doesn't move.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. That's a great idea because he was at MIT.
Right.
Maybe
she'd be one of those. She goes there, right? That's where she.
Yeah, maybe he funded her father's project, and it's been. So Keith made a point that. What was it?
Civil War.
Tony Stark said he'd pay for all the projects at MIT. So maybe that could have some type of just simple connection.
It'd be cool, man.
And I said maybe he funded her dad's work, and then it trickled down somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. That would be really dope because like that could end up just being like one of those coincidences that work out perfectly.
They did that with Far From Home with Quentin Beck's,
yeah, right.
That's true.
Technology.
Gyllenhaal, Mysterio. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
That's true.
And that technology. Yeah. The weird
biometrical advance something.
Bar
something.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm glad. I think it's something they will definitely tell. It's just a matter of right place, right time, because it could be a really. I mean, Marvel has already said like diversity in their movies and TVs is something they're gonna put moving forward, and we're definitely seeing that. And I think it would be a great representation, and I think it would be badass to see this 15-year-old in an Iron Man suit kicking it. I was gonna say kicking
she
ass,
made she
made out of her own smarts. 15-year-old at MIT. It'd be really cool. I think it'd be a pretty dope thing to see. So yeah. All right, Gio, what's yours?
All right, you guys ready?
Uh-oh.
All right. Before I reveal my pick, I gotta say, Marvel's pretty ballsy, already developing more Disney Plus characters, lesser known characters.
That's fair.
As promising as Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision look, we don't know if they'll succeed or not. What do we know about Marvel on television? Shows like Inhumans, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean,
yeah, but Feige's in charge of that now.
I got bored quickly, so who's to say? What if those Loki, and what if people are tired of seeing Loki? You never know. Hey, like he can only die so many times and come back. Like it has to be really interesting.
A fair point.
Obviously, I'm like trying to bait you guys hard right now, but they'll more than likely work out. They'll more than likely work out. But if I had to pick between those three, I would probably go with Ghost Rider.
Okay. The fact that you even hesitated kind of surprised me. Like I thought you would be like all for.
Well, because I kind of don't want any of like give me a sequel to Incredible Hulk, or Red Hulk or Gray Hulk or something like that. Or
on TV though.
Huh?
On TV?
Well, no, I'm just talking about in general, like the next Marvel project. Like put all these projects aside. Give me a Hulk movie. Produced by Marvel. Anyways,
it's a series or a movie. Okay, I didn't catch that. So okay,
yeah.
So yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
but,
that's a good point. We don't. It never once in the rumors said that it's going to be a Disney Plus series or movie. So we don't know. The other two were geared more towards series, whereas this one it was just Ghost Rider is looking to be developed. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I choose Ghost Rider is because we know it's possible you can make a movie out of this. I mean, they did the feature film with Nicolas Cage and Eva Mendes, which isn't terrible. It's not the worst thing I saw that decade, but it proved to me with the graphics that you can make a Ghost Rider movie. And make it work on the big screen.
Did you see any of him Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wise?
It was kind of cool.
No, I kind of dropped out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after Bill Paxton, and all that stuff.
Here, right? Yeah.
So I mean, that was the kind of it. It's just not. It just I just moved on to
That's fair.
Other shows. So but yeah, I mean, you have Blade Runner coming up. Ghost Rider is kind of in that vein. Dark, grounded, a little bit gritty. And I think
that Moon Knight definitely is. So they could pair off each other.
Yeah. So absolutely. So I think there's a lot of potential for Ghost Rider. I think it's a character that they're not going to let sit on the shelves for a long period of time, because you could do some things with that character, and especially if Mahershala Ali's Blade is a hit, which I think we all think it will be.
Yeah.
But you never know. So Ghost Rider is my choice.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I would love for Marvel to kind of, obviously they're owned by Disney, so it's not going to be crazy, but I would love for them to have like a set of darker characters, like that kind of like intermingle. Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Blade, like those types of characters kind of getting together. Like that'd be dope. Like I mean, they're the more darker characters in Marvel, so I mean, I don't need to see Ghost Rider being like BFFs with Captain America, like, or something on the side,
just hanging out at the Avengers Tower.
Like, yeah, exactly. Perfect example. Like, I don't need to see Ghost Rider chilling at Avengers Tower or the headquarters, or just like
imagine him at the party from Age of Ultron. He's just chilling there.
Exactly. I do not need him like that. But if we're talking like he's gonna meet like Moon Knight and Blade on like the streets at night and gonna go kick some butt, like okay, I'll take that.
Maybe time in with Doctor Strange, because they
Doctor Strange could work.
They fight some of the same people. Blackheart kind of is a little bit of a Doctor Strange villain as well.
Yeah, because Ghost Rider does do a little bit of not magic, but
all right. It's like
realms
like demons and
that type stuff. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange could do that type stuff too. So, yeah, that's a very good point. That could work pretty cool.
They fight a lot of the same people,
Yeah, it's like it's all the interdimensional type people are the ones that they go after. So I can't think of anyone off the top of my head right now, but I think Nightmare. We know Nightmare is one of them.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right.
Who they've been didn't they? Wasn't he in Vengeance?
He was on the.
I think wasn't he the villain in Vengeance? He was just really bad. I'm gonna look.
I don't remember.
I know it was Blackheart in the first one. I'm pretty sure, and you might be right. I think it was.
This shows you how much we forget this movie.
I don't even remember. I've definitely watched it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I've wiped that movie from memory, but it could be a pretty cool thing that they do, and I agree. Like, I feel like it could be done well now. Whether or not that is the Ghost Rider on a motorcycle bike that we're used to, or
car one.
I'm drawing a blank on his
Ramirez.
name.
It's like something Ramirez or
Diego Ramirez.
That's what I thought it was, Gio. I thought it was Diego, but I wasn't. I didn't want to say the wrong name. I got it.
I know he's Latino.
Yes, Robbie Reyes.
Robbie,
that's who it is.
Reyes. Sorry.
Yes. Way off.
Completely off.
I know.
But
I thought something like that. I was like,
I want to Google where I got Diego Ramirez.
I know.
I thought Diego too, and I was like, yeah. But and then it's funny. We obviously didn't pick the Secret Warriors, which is funny because to me, out of all three, that one probably seems like it would happen sooner, being that they're introducing Ms. Marvel. So I don't know, because that's the one character out of all three of the iterations that they kept in each one.
Right.
So I could see that type of thing happening. I mean, am I going to like jump up for joy? Probably not. The characters aren't like the most amazing. I mean, like at this point, like Squirrel Girl is one of them.
Yeah. It's like they're Teen Titans. Like the Marvel.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
But just less Like Teen Titans is way more.
Well, the
cooler.
new version, the newest, like the animated one, incorporated a lot more Inhumans, which could also make me think that that could be something they look into.
Right.
So who knows? But yeah, I like Geo's Ghost Rider because, like we said, they look like they're going dark a little bit, and that would be kind of cool. Now, Disney dark is a whole different type of dark, but well,
they got to be careful with 5 movies coming out next year, and then DC picking up, and then how many more movies are going to be released a year afterwards. It's just, and then the streaming plus services. It's like you can only fit so much content on your plate.
Yeah, and we don't even know if these are even true or not. But I mean, they could be developing this. They have nothing better to do. They could be trying to develop this for years ahead, for all we know. Just trying to get a jump on it now. But yeah. Right. All right. So our second topic is Josh Trank opening up about his Fantastic Four movie to Polygon, not the Pokemon, the website. And basically he was talking about his blockbuster flop of Fantastic Four and basically just kind of saying whatever he thought. And basically how the studio completely gutted his movie. And one of the first things that he said was how when the first trailer was released, the studio paid attention to what people were saying on Twitter. And he said they look at that a lot. They say S word. People are freaked out about how it's not going to be funny, so we need to spend $10 million to do a comedy rewrite. And that was because the tone clearly was attempting to be much darker. The reshoots were ordered, and while Trank was present on set, someone else was there doing his movie for him, essentially, re-editing it and redoing it. He said it was like being castrated. You're standing there and you're basically watching producers block out scenes 5 minutes ahead of when you get there, having editors hired by the studio deciding the sequence of shots that are going to be construct whatever is going on and what it is that they need. And then because they're being nice, they're sort of nice to you by saying, well, does that sound good? You can say yes or no. So, yeah. I mean, so clearly it sounds like that was the movie that came out was not what he had intended. Will it have saved this movie? I don't know. That we'll never know. But all right, who wants to go after this first?
Well, I just watched. Like I said, I just watched this last summer, and it's also funny too. Not to plug anything else, I'm not sending anybody away but Mr. Sunday Movies on his YouTube channel did a great set of videos about all 4 of the Fantastic Four movies and how bad they are, and does a good job going into the history behind them, why they were made. They literally, that Roger Corman one, they literally just made it. They don't even have to release it. They just had to make it. Mm-hmm. And they literally just made it so that they can make the 05 one and the 07 one with Jessica Alba and all that stuff. But,
yeah.
They put a little bit more effort into those, obviously, but and then this one, this 2015 one, we just watched it. I refused to watch it at the time. I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time. I'm not even going to bother. And then it popped up on one of the streaming sites, so we just watched it, and I really didn't think it was the worst thing I've ever seen. It's a good part. The first part of that movie, I say maybe the first half hour or so, is actually decent. You can see that there was definitely something there, which leads me to I've heard Josh Trank mention all this before. He said it at the time, of course, and then over the couple, he was quiet for a while, and I think he popped up. He popped up on like a Reddit thread last year. Was talking about this movie. He said a lot of the same stuff, and you could tell just for me watching it, you could definitely tell. You can almost see it in the movie. Like you can see all the different points where it was this kind of movie, and then it just totally. And then some scenes were like totally different, and then you can see it goes back to this more kind of a serious tone. And right around the same time, I also just watched Chronicle for the first time. I had never seen that either, which is great. And it sounds like his movie was a little bit more like that. And they wanted to be the silly, campy, Fantastic Four movies that they made a few years earlier. Let me say, it's just Fox as a studio. I don't know. It's one of those things where the studio, like they're the ones paying for it. They're paying for the production. They're paying for all the stuff. So it's their movie, right? They hire the director just to direct it. But it's one of those things where how much do you balance, or how much do you give a director to do his job versus his or her job, versus how much interference or how much do you want it? Because they do own it. It's theirs. So they should be free to be able to give whatever input they want. But if you're crippling the guy and kind of taking his knees out from under him and not letting him do his job, why'd you hire him? Why'd you hire the guy? And he certainly didn't help himself. I know there was some issues with some stuff that he said.
We'll get to the next part of it,
right.
But yes.
Yeah, wrecking that house or whatever he was living in or whatever that he did. So he certainly didn't do himself any favors, but I definitely would empathize with him. And probably cost him the Star Wars movie as well that he was going to do.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, and as much as I don't care for Boba Fett, I would certainly love to see a Josh Trank Boba Fett.
Absolutely.
Just any kind of Josh Trank Star Wars movie, I think it'd be good because Chronicle's great. Like the guy, clearly he's got the talent, But like I said, yeah, just watching this movie, like you could definitely tell it's a mess. It's a little all over the place. It's very bland. I don't think it's the worst Fantastic Four movie, but it's just kind of a nothing movie. And if you watch Chronicle and then you watch this, and it's like it's hard to believe it's the same guy. So I gotta imagine there's something to what he's saying. So
fair enough. Gio, you want to go into it, or you want me to?
I'll go because this is it's still boiling my skin, boiling my blood in like 5 minutes. 5 years later, I can't even talk straight right now. But okay, so yes, I agree with you, Keith. Chronicle is a very, very well-made movie. It made found footage style of filmmaking relevant again. I would say.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 2014. So X-Men Days of Future Past comes out and is a hit, a box office success, arguably the best X-Men movie to date. And I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure the first trailer for Fantastic Four was attached to Days of Future Past.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yes.
I think you sound right. Sounds right.
I was so in love with that first trailer. I was like, yes, this is Josh Trank 100%. This is giving me Chronicle vibes. I love the young cast: Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, Toby Kebbell, and who played the Thing? Ben Grimm.
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell, yes.
Love Jamie Bell. Solid
cast. That first trailer, voiced over by Reggie Cathy from House of Cards. Well made. And then fast forward a couple months and you start hearing these problems like Josh Trank reminded us, with the studio meddling. And I remember during that time, Twitter blew up and everyone was like, what is this? Is this Inception meets Chronicle? Like, what is this tone and style of Fantastic Four? That's not what Fantastic Four is. And I'm like, I agree, but at the same time, you go to the opposite end of the spectrum and you have Tim. Oh no, we're not the best movies, especially that second one, Rise of the Silver Surfer. You could literally watch the teaser trailer for Rise of the Silver Surfer, and that's all you need to see from that movie.
It's the movie.
That was the best part of that movie.
That's fair.
And
I actually think that's
Josh Trank is absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely. So take Suicide Squad for example, right? Suicide I loved it. I love the tone, but again, studios listening to fans, which sometimes they should. That's how we get a Deadpool movie. But a lot of times they shouldn't, because then we wouldn't have a Heath Ledger Joker.
That is very true.
Who knows if we have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine? Who knows if we have Michael Keaton's Batman?
People hated that.
Studios should not always listen to fans. And
yeah,
the moment Fox started messing with this film is when their downfall started to happen as a studio, much less the Marvel side of 20th Century Fox. Because after Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse did not do well. Fantastic Four, as we know, did not do well. That Gambit movie never happened. That I think had a lot of promise with Channing Tatum. And then Dark Phoenix. I mean, yeah, Logan was a hit. Deadpool 2 were hits. But then Dark Phoenix brought that back down again, even though I thought it was a little bit entertaining.
I agree with you. It's a little bit entertaining, but money did not do very well for that.
Right. Yeah. So you see the ripple effects of studio meddling and being reactionary. And, for Josh Trank, it did put a lot of stress on him, and he did not handle it the best. And it also cost him the Star Wars. What if the Fantastic Four movie that he wanted to make, the original one, was pretty good? Pretty good. Then he goes on and makes Boba Fett. Boba Fett's pretty good. All of a sudden, the Star Wars anthology has 2 hits with Rogue One and Boba Fett. You say what you will about Solo. I honestly think we were robbed of a better movie with Phil Lord and Chris Miller attached, but the one that we got was okay. But again, the ripple effects of studio meddling, being very reactionary, and costing a young, promising filmmaker, and Josh Trank, years of probably prime filmmaking where Hollywood didn't want nothing to do with him. I mean, I remember 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. There were times when I Googled Josh Trank. I wanted to see what he was up to, because I refuse to believe that you make a film as good as Chronicle and then follow that up with a film who has very, very similar elements as far as kids, young adults, and giving them powers, and make that movie. It didn't make sense. And now that he came out and pretty much confirmed what we all thought, what we heard at the time, it still makes me upset to this day.
Yeah. Do you want to say something, Keith?
Yeah, just really quick. I know from what I understand that it was similar to what happened when they first made the first one. They only made it just so they could keep the rights. Like, the rights were about to expire and go back to Marvel, and they wanted to make this one to keep the rights. And I think from what I heard, Marvel offered them Daredevil. Like, they're gonna let them keep Daredevil.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so let them have Fantastic Four.
That's how Daredevil went back to Marvel, and they were able to make the Netflix series.
They immediately made that Netflix series, and so that's exactly what happened.
Yep. I remember that headline.
And then they wound up losing the rights anyway.
And look, and look now. See?
Yeah, exactly.
And look, Josh Trank has a very promising movie coming out starring Tom Hardy, and 20th Century Fox is now owned by Disney. So, karma comes back around.
Fair.
Did you see it in theaters, Brian?
No, God, no. I saw it. I was absolutely bored at home, and there was nothing else to watch, and I put it on and watched it. And it was It was one of those things.
And I agree with Keith. The first 45 minutes,
it's not bad.
It starts off not
solid.
bad.
Pretty damn solid.
I will say that, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
And then further into the article, we had comments from writer Jeremy Slater, who kind of took a stance against I shouldn't say kind of, he pretty much took a stance against what Trank was saying was the first Avengers movie had recently came out, and I kept saying that should be our template. That's what audience wants to see. And Josh just effing hated every second of it. And then continued with, it didn't matter if they were fighting robots in Latveria or aliens in the negative zone or mole monsters in downtown Manhattan. Josh just did not give a S. I feel like I get Mole Man. Trank responds in defense. He's angry and undermined by the system. Right from the start of the process, Josh told me I wasn't allowed to speak with Fox without him present. I never saw 95% of those notes. To which, obviously, Trank responded with, the trials of developing Fantastic Four had everything to do with the tone. You couldn't take the most comic booky things as far as just names, faces, identities, and backstories and synthesize it into a tone. And the tone that Slater was interested in was not a tone that I felt I had anything in common with.
Well, that's true. That's Josh Trank sticking to his strengths and what his style of filmmaking is.
Exactly.
And the thing that he wanted to do, which was not.
And the thing that he was hired to do.
Exactly. So
he was hired to do that. So
I agree. I see what Slater is saying, but in the end, it falls on the company for hiring Trank. If Trank had, it clearly sounded like Trank did not want anything to do with the tone that everyone else was going for or pitching for. So in the end, why are you wasting your time on someone like Trank who doesn't want to do that? To me, that's not his fault. Like, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, he did something that the company didn't want. That's your own damn fault. If you're going to hire someone that doesn't have that feel that you wanted, don't hire him.
You hit it around the head. It's the Lord Miller situation. Like, in this case, like, they were nearly done shooting that movie, and they decided they didn't like what they were doing. But I did hear that as well, that they were going to actually have it was going to be Dr. Doom. They're going to have the Doom bots, and he was actually going to be a leader.
I remember that article with the Doom bots, Mole Man in Manhattan, and then they cut $30 million of his budget.
I remember that.
Either right before shooting or just as they started shooting.
And Galactus was going to be in the negative zone, and and Doom was going to be there. He was going to be his herald. Like, they were going to make it. So it was some version of that. I don't know how far they got with that, but and it sounds like they wanted to get really comic booky, and Josh Trank didn't. He just kind of wanted to tell a little slightly more grounded story, and just this is literally, like, you always hear creative differences or creative like, this is literally what full on creative differences, to the point where
absolutely,
I said, like, he didn't want the guy around, which is, I see his side. It's like, you want to. The producers, and they're in charge, but at the same time, like, hey man, you hired me to do this, let me do it. Let me do it with my way. So.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It sounds like he wanted a more grounded superhero movie, literally like more realistic, grounded type. And the studio wanted Avengers, which is you're not gonna really, if aliens are attacking Earth and you have a guy flying in a suit and all this, it's not gonna work that way. I mean, it will to a certain extent, but
so I can see why he wouldn't want to do it, but
I see both sides. Right. I understand what Trank is saying. To me, at the end of the day, the fault, if I mean, the guy, Jeremy Slater, seems to almost kind of like confirm what Trank is saying by saying, like, yeah, he wasn't doing that. But at the same time, he's throwing digs. Yeah. To me, that then tells you, yeah, that's the studio's fault. In the end of the day, they hired this guy. I would assume, had pitched his vision at the time. They went, okay. And then they saw something else and went, no, do that. Well, sorry, dude. That's not what I'm good at doing and or want to do. You can't force it on me. And well, they decided to force it on him and try to do it their own way. And look what happened. So
yeah,
kind of falls on that. So
you can take that stance. You can do the kind of get a little defiant like Josh Trank. You can take the stance of I can't think of his name, the Rogue One guy, who, because essentially this was happening on Rogue One as well, but he just kind of stayed quiet.
Gareth Edwards, yeah.
He just sometimes you got to play the game a little bit, so just let them. So you just step back, let them do what they do, and
or it could be Lord of Miller and just leave.
Just leave, go do something, go make Into the Spider-Verse.
True. Right. Yeah, look how that turned out.
Right. So Trank, I would have all this said. I'd like to see Trank. I've heard this, like I said, a few times. I'd like to see him move on from this. I don't want him to
Yeah.
It just keeps kind of coming up with him, and
this should be the last it's spoken of. Yeah, in my opinion.
But I do want to see him make more stuff. So
yeah, and hopefully that Capone movie will help, and then we don't have. Yeah, it looks great. Hopefully we don't have to ever hear about Fantastic Four movies pre whatever Marvel does in the future. But yeah, any last words? Yeah, we'll force it.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts? Any last words?
Nope. No. Just that movie wasted cast, wasted potential, and
yeah,
I know, such a good cast.
I'll never forget. It was a good cast.
I'll never forget that Comic-Con of group photo where you had the X-Men First Class, X-Men original cast members, you had the Fantastic Four members, you had Gambit, you had Deadpool, all of them together for a group photo. Like, this is the Fox Marvel. This is it. We're going to compete with the MCU. And then,
right in the face.
Just like the DC directors all on stage. And, three of them stuck around.
I was going to say, there's like one or two of them left. Yeah, three is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. That is our topics today for Nerd Nation. We talked about the rumored Marvel projects that are being talked about all over Twitter, and Josh Trank opening up to Polygon, and basically, hopefully for the last time, just letting everything go about
giving closure.
Yeah. Hopefully finding closure in this saga. But so thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. I have Keith over there, Geo down here, different from when we started. But yes, don't forget to check out all of our other stuff on Apocaflix Movies. We have Apocaflix Now every Friday. This week we are going to be doing Trivia Night, which is going to be a blast. Definitely comic book type stuff. So definitely if you're into Nerd Nation, it's going to be something you want to check out. We have tons of other shows on the channel, Padawan Podcast, The Fandalorian, which just wrapped up talking about the Clone Wars, bunch of other stuff. Go check that out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and or like, and check us out on all types of podcast platforms, Anchors, Apple, Spotify, Breaker, all of the stuff that you can podcast on. And so for Apocaflix Movies, I am Brian.
Go TeePublic, get a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, TeePublic. No one can give me any more stuff because I have a Nerd Nation shirt now. Finally got one. Yeah, and if you ever get one, send us a picture and we'll post it up somewhere. Because no one has yet to do it yet. But so be the first one. So for Apocaflix Movies, I'm Brian. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.